So, hello everyone listening. I'm the host, Pug Monkey. A quick disclaimer before we start. Um, while I'm currently at the time of this recording one of the three guild leaders of the Pact 53rd and a moderator for the Guild Wars 2 RP server Discord, my opinions and views and the views of the people within this podcast in no way represent their guilds or the Pact 53rd or the Guild Wars 2 RP server Discord as a whole. Do not take what we say to be the collective thought of the Pact 53rd Battalion or the Guild Wars 2 RP Discord server. Anyway, I got Ronzo Vanitas, a former officer, a former guild leader and an officer of the Pact 53rd, and I got Jarl Broloff, who is another member of the Pact 53rd.
I'm just a bro.
You're just bro. But
you didn't make my intro elegant enough.
Well, you got to give your own intro. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know if I have any of those left.
Oh, yeah.
He likes getting caught in the rain and pina coladas.
I don't know.
Also watching Shrek.
Oh, God. Is it? I guess role-playing might be on there, I think, maybe. I don't know.
That might be a good one. That might be a good one to put on there, buddy.
Yeah. Just on that, and, I exercise a lot, but don't tell anybody.
Come at me, Scrub Lord. I'm ripped.
Yeah,
there you go.
I had to find new ways to fill my time when I stopped drinking. Bro, tell us about yourself. I'm taking over.
What do? I role play. That's a good one. I've been role playing.
No one cares about your fetishes.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna go into that. Thanks, buddy.
Wow. Thanks, host.
I've been role playing. I role played on some piece of crap game for like 2 years. And then I joined up with the Guild Wars 2 thing like a year ago. And I've been doing that.
You were... Oh, God, was I supposed to talk about how long I've been...
Hey, man, I'm actually talking about RP.
Was I supposed to talk about how long I've been role-playing, or do people not care?
But I wanted to, because this is the RPcast.
Yeah,
and that's actually what we're supposed to be talking about.
I've been role-playing since I was 10.
Jesus.
I've only been role-playing for like 3-ish years at this point. Something like that.
I think I was like 14. So 10 years now. I
10
started on Lord of the Rings. I start on like MMO wise. I started on like at first. Like most people, I started in chat rooms, and then I went on Lord of the Rings Online, and because I was gonna role play in the Old Republic when it came out, but I wanted a game to get good at. So I was on Lord of the Rings Online, and I became the main villain of the server in about a month. And boy, was I bad! People hated me.
You took everyone's one ring.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
There's 20.
Oh, fuck me then.
Look at all these anal jokes. Anyway, yeah, so then after that I went to the Old Republic, and that... And then
we
Guild
don't talk
Wars.
about the Old Republic.
We don't talk about it. What a colossal... that game is so aggressively average.
Yeah, I've never seen a game hyped up and then just
Shit
felt
the bed.
terribly
Shit the bed.
underwhelmed.
Shit
pretty much.
the bed.
Well, no, DC Universe was a very overhyped game.
Oh,
It's not aggressively average.
Oh, God, I don't count those. I don't count any, like, City of Heroes thing, mostly because I never played them, so they don't matter to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, I role-played on a game called Space Station 13 for about 2 years, and it's like if you took... you guys know about the ship? You know how you hunt people on the ship and all that crap?
I'm nodding, but you can't see it.
Well, and then it's kind of like Trouble in Terrorist Town. It's like you're RPing on a space station, and some people in the crew get chosen to be like terrorists or like fucking changelings or whatever, and they've got their thing to do, and everyone else just has to do their jobs. So for over the span of like 2 years, I exclusively played a surgeon, and then I got terribly bored because it was like Groundhog Day, where it's like, oh, you don't remember what happened last round, just for the sake of like balance and all that, and I don't know. So it was like every round was a different shift, and you didn't remember what happened on the last one. And so I played that for like 2 years straight, and then I eventually finally got bored of it. I picked up Guild Wars 2 and then got into that, and I kind of just threw myself in. Like, I've been learning the lore on the fly because I was never like super into it before.
Oh, God, I've been playing since launch, and I'm still learning the lore. I don't know. I know basically. I know that Logan Thackeray is my waifu, and that's about all I know. And then that makes people very angry when I say it. I'm not sure why.
Speaking of Logan Thackeray, one of our first questions is, what do you think Logan Thackeray's favorite pizza is?
Favorite pizza?
Probably
meat lovers.
Pineapple and ham.
Meat lovers.
Punk.
First of all, you shut your mouth. You shut your goddamn mouth. He loves
Pineapple-
meat lovers because it's high in protein to even out his exercising when
I'm
he's
pretty
just
sure
punching
it's not
justice,
because he's like pining for
punching
Ritlock or
evil
something.
in the face. Shut up! You shut your slanderous mouth.
No, you can't make me. I'm on this podcast to talk. I will
That's
not
No
be
true.
voices are
I can't-
silenced in this podcast except for the viewers
Who are
because we don't care about
silenced?
their opinions.
Yeah.
Oh, look at our valiant host.
Oh God.
And
I guess
But-
I guess I'll be hosting next week. They won't be fighting Pug Monkey back.
yeah, I'm the worst.
All right. Well, I guess we're conflicted. I'm saying ham and pineapple because Logan Thackeray's a
I'm
punk.
saying meat lovers, man. All the meat, all the possible meats you can get on pizza, and that is what he likes. If you say that I'm wrong, I will challenge you.
You're probably wrong here.
I've challenged. You're challenged. You're admonished.
To what?
I don't know. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do RP combat to settle this. We'll just have to rely on the other one not god modding.
Yeah, well, tough luck, buddy. I'm a god modder.
Okay.
You're too strong for this community.
Oh,
All right. If you had to describe Kaith as a salad, what type of salad would she be? I say a Caesar salad.
I'm gonna say house salad because that's I don't know. It
I don't
works.
know my salads because I'm not a bitch.
Oh god. Fuck. Cobb salad.
Cobb
Diced up.
salad? I don't even know what a
Diced up.
Cobb salad is.
Because you're an uncultured swine, bro.
You know, you gotta.
I'm
you gotta
Canadian.
Slob
There's
cobs,
a
man.
difference.
Oh, you're down here in America. We don't put maple syrup in our salad, so that's probably
Hey, man.
why.
Maple syrup's delicious. We actually just stick spigots into trees and like drain it out of it, and then we dump it in the snow and roll it up with a
I
stick.
didn't know what a spigot was, and I was really confused for about 5 seconds.
I'm not talking about people that are racist. I'm talking about like these little taps.
I don't know how you came up with that. I don't know how. Let's move on.
Called it.
To become a Canadian citizen, you have to have your blood transfused into maple syrup. So,
It's
Or you
true.
have to
My
be a
dad
because
actually
life is
from the
sweet
States.
in Canada.
Yo, I have a question, legitimate side question.
Yeah.
Is it like cruel to put chicken in your eggs while you're cooking eggs? Like, is that
chicken
It's
cruel?
delicious.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a little mean.
No, it's
It's
not.
like I'm gonna. Okay, let's move on then. That's
If
just
they
a
were
question
smarter
I've
or
been asked.
better, they would have outdone us already, but they're not.
All
I
right,
mean, yeah, you got
they're
that.
gonna rise up. They'll rise up. The South
All
will
right.
rise again.
No,
The chickens.
No, we don't talk about that.
Rising.
Uh, I mean,
All right. Okay, as as fellow members of the community, what do you think of the current situation in terms of roleplay? Is there something that you would you think could be done or improved upon?
build a wall around the food is
Oh my god.
make them pay for it with gems. Actually, they
Oh.
did. It's called the Salma District.
Oh my
It doesn't
god.
seem to be working very much.
Oh my god.
Nonsense
No,
gliders.
Now for the serious answer, if we're
Oh,
talking about
serious.
No, I think that I learned about this secondhand, but I think one of the big things was the whole mega server thing because now you got all these stupid shard things, and from what I've heard, that kind of put a wedge through the community because now it's like you're constantly looking for taxis and all that stupid stuff.
I think that's the opposite. It brings
Really?
people together because
Actually, yeah, 'cause then
I've
it's-
met so many random people just being like, "Hey, I need a taxi." I'm like, "Okay," but you have to trade me ERP for it. Except I never actually said that. But yeah, like I've met people just like through taxis, and like the fact that all the servers are now kind of one. I don't really know how it works too much because I don't know how to read, but like I think it works a little bit better than it did before in terms of bring people together.
But something that I've wanted to bring up, and this is partially coming about because I play a bunch of other games that I RP on now. There's like zero open world RP with Guild Wars 2, and I think that kind of
Oh, there
hampers it in
is.
a sense.
Oh yeah,
there is-
people need a brand.
it's only
There
the-
is, but it's so scarce. It's
It's
like
very scarce. That's like one of the
Only
one of the
unicorn.
things. Like yeah, shut up. Like I'm not like too in touch with the community. Not recently because I joined. Well, I didn't join. I helped found the Pack 53rd with Leon and Krina. And you know when the guild first started, we were always out in the Silver Waste and we were role playing out there and doing in character Vine Wraith runs and everything. And then, you know, we decided to mix things up, so we kept changing locations. So we moved our location down to the monastery in Queensdale, and then from there then we went to Fort Trinity, and then back to the Silver Wastes, and then we were in what the hell is the city in the new expansion called?
Tarrier.
Yeah, then we went to Tarrier for a little bit. Now mostly everybody role plays out of their guild hall, and ours is dank as hell.
Yeah, no, I think
so like
community...
most of the role play I've been out role playing in like the open most of the time. Like whenever I go to the city, I'm just so bored of tavern role play anymore. I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's me too. There's only so much bar RP you can do before you get tired of doing the same small talk over and over.
Or you become an alcoholic.
That too.
Yeah,
and
if your character starts off as one, then where's the character development?
Exactly.
He just becomes
down
depressing.
Now,
maybe I'll find the gods at the bottom of this bottle. Oh wait, they weren't there. Let me check the next one.
Balthasar, you in there?
Balthasar. No, but I think that guild halls were a really good addition, but it also seems like a lot of, because I mean guilds were pretty clicky before with RP and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like if you're looking for any long-term event-based roleplay, it's almost always ran by a guild in some sense, and that's just kind of.
That's what happens to MMOs when they're out.
It's just sort of
out for. Because I remember around launch, I'm sorry, go on.
Well, the thing with guild halls is that because they're instanced, like it just kind of enforces the concept. Like you could pretty easily, like, I don't know how you would do it other than instanced, obviously, but it seems like it's hard to actually get people into your guild hall. I might be a complete moron. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Well, you are, but you might be right on this.
Yeah, I mean, I am a moron. But it just seems like RP in Guild Wars 2 has always been very kind of clicky. It's not nearly as open, I find. It's like you'll have like the groups of people within the various bars and whatnot.
I think it used to be different. Like when back in the day, like when I think I didn't start at launch, but like I joined like not even a full month after the game launched, and I played like a thief character. I played Ronza Vanitas, King of Thieves, blah blah blah, and so I joined a thief guild. I joined this guild called the Veil, and some people might remember it as being like terrible. But when it first started, it was a really, really good like thief guild. They didn't murder people; they just did schemes and like stole stuff, and it was really good. And I haven't seen and part of it's because I don't have time to look anymore because I'm always so busy with work, and I was busy with school and all this other stuff. But like I haven't seen any like good just like rogue guilds, not like people going around killing people or like people being edgelords, just people being thieves. Like I loved that. I fucking loved that. And we did cross events with the Templar, which oddly enough that's where Val was, and I didn't meet her then, but I wound up meeting Val, who was another one of the guild leaders in Pack 53rd. I wound up meeting her later in the Templar when I joined them. But we did cross events because they were the good guys, we were the bad guys. Sometimes we were the good guys, sometimes they were the bad guys. It worked really well. We did a lot of events, and I feel like as the things become more clicky, people become less and less like open to doing cross guild things because they want to do it their way. And if somebody else wants to, and I'm not going to name any people, but it's happened to us, like when we tried to do it. But like people when instead of you don't a lot of times they don't mean to compromise on trying to do events. They want to do it their way, and if you don't want to do it their way, then it doesn't really work out, and it leads to some headaches. So a lot of the time
they go the Fred Durst way, my way or the highway.
Dude, that was fucking beautiful. When my heart was Fred Durst.
As a correction, I was just told by the chat that there is a way for people to get into guild halls, so I am a moron, confirmed. Thank you, Valrith.
I told you.
Yeah, but
I also wasn't listening when you were talking. So
there's two things they also need. They also need to have been to the entrance of the guild hall. They had to have it on their map, and they need the expansion.
Yeah, so it's there, but it's not easy to do.
Expansion.
It's not easy to do. Well, yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
Yeah, unless they actively join the guild, they need the expansion.
Yeah,
I believe.
Squads or parties need expansion, need to actually have been to the guild hall in question, yeah. So, they're not making it easy for a lot of this stuff to kind of get to the the unwashed masses of free-to-play players.
Man, that was a beautiful sentence.
It's free to start.
Free to start.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. If you could play up to, if like tavern roleplay is your thing, and you could play up to level 80, just in taverns and stuff, like good for you. Like that's fine. You don't have to do stuff in the in the expansion. If that's how it works, it might not be. I don't fucking know. But I mean, like when I played Lord of the Rings Online, I played that game for like 2-3 years, and I never made it past level 34 because I never needed to. You get to the main city very early on, and I never needed to leave it for roleplay.
That's fair.
Yeah, mastery levels aren't really a big deal if you don't have the expansion, because once you get the 80, it's pretty good. Like the only thing you get out of the mastery points in the expansion that you can use in the original base game is the glider.
Gotta get that. Gotta get to the coin, man.
Yeah, it's the bet. I mean, you can still get to the coin without it. It's just harder.
Gotta get there, man.
Gotta get that virtual poon.
But yeah, if we're going back to the original question, I'd say that the community as a whole kind of, I don't want to say it needs to open up because it's already fairly open in terms of like striking up random conversations at a bar. But I mean, like, it seems like you really have to, you have to know where you have to go to the bar and you have to know where the community is. Oh, Celia.
I think people should stop role playing as vampires.
That too. Yeah.
I think that should stop. And because I want to just like throw this out that there are vampires in the lore, yeah, but they look like hideous vagina monsters. They're disgusting.
Remember
like,
the Broodmother?
Yeah, I killed Broodmother at launch.
Yeah, I killed Broodmother. Let's not talk about Broodmother because that took me like hours.
That was the best though. That was like the only time I ever got to use guild leader powers is when when the launch dropped and I was grinding events and I was just like, goons, I need you, and like 5 guild members would roll up. That was nice. That was when life was good.
Goons, I need you.
Oh yeah, they love it when you call them goons.
Show me the meaning of haste.
But yeah, roleplay. I will never not be amazed by people role playing vampires in games that like where vampires aren't real. Like Lord of the Rings, there were really no vampires, but there was a bunch of vampire role players. I think I saw some on Star Wars and the Old Republic. I don't remember.
How do you make a space vampire? There's sun everywhere.
Well, we can't see space vampires to see if they're real because
there's mirrors and telescopes. Yo, fuck you! I was gonna do that joke.
I got to you before it.
You want to try that again?
Yeah, let's go for round 2 there, Pug.
No. Okay, so what are your suggestions for new players wanting to roleplay? Are there any strict do or do not guidelines?
Yeah, don't be a vampire.
I was about to say that.
What should new players expect from the RP community?
For new player, because I'm probably the newest one here, so I can probably speak to it more than anything. Don't be like intimidated by people. Like, feel free to go up to them, like strike up a conversation, but also like be prepared to learn. Especially if you're like me and you went into it not knowing anything about lore or anything like that. Like, be prepared to do a bit of reading. Be prepared to like listen to what other people have to say, because chances are they know the game better than you.
Or if you want to just jump in head first and not learn the lore, just roll a character who sucks at magic and doesn't really use it that much. Do what I did. And look, I have the best character. I have the best character on the server, and if you argue with me,
I mean,
you're probably right.
We'll move on.
Yeah, I am incorrect, but boy, am I going to act like I'm not.
And don't be afraid if you don't get something within the lore, because the lore as it is right now with Guild Wars 2, it's pretty open. Like, there's a lot of things. It's a 200-year span. We got a few clues what happened in between and all that, but we don't know what's going to happen next. We can't explain everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You could join so many different guilds in that game, like, which is the Guild Wars. It's like that's the draw. It's like you can just join so many different communities. Like, you don't have to worry about just picking one, or you don't have to worry about like, upsetting people if you role play with one group over the other. Like, you can be part of multiple groups, so you should, be encouraged to go up and talk to people and, join whatever groups make sense for your character.
Inevitably, no matter what sort of character you try to create or role play as, you'll find a community around it as long as you're willing to put yourself out there. Like, even if it's going on to like forums and saying, yeah, this is my character, or just going up to a bar and striking up a random conversation. Because that's how I met like my first like RP group, and I put that in quotations. Was I just went to a bar and started talking to people there, and then I kind of stuck. But you definitely need to be ready to kind of like get to know the community as a whole, get to know people, and just above all else, like be ready to come out of your shell and just kind of like talk to people and get to know them and get to know like the environment that you're going to be in, because RP is kind of a long-term thing.
Yeah.
And as just a going off point, like when don't do your best not to be a special snowflake if you can.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Also, don't be afraid to research the races and how they act. I can't tell you how tired I am of cutesy wootsy char females.
Oh god,
I'm so sick of fucking food and Norns.
I mean,
The
we've
curse of
already covered
Jormag.
that.
The curse of Jormag.
What a diabolical.
Yeah, like
They can't
if
reproduce if
like
they
if
all
you
have
were
penises.
the best way, I think the rule of thumb, and I do this too sometimes because I don't know what's too overpowered and what's not. If you think you're gonna do something that might be like too broken for a character, special snowflakey, if just ask somebody, just legitimately just say, hey, are you a lore nerd? No. Okay, go to the next person. Hey, you're a lore nerd. Or if you have friends, if you're in a guild, ask whoever's good on the lore. Just speak to them, tell them what you have in mind. And a lot of the times people in this game are really nice. They'll be like, it doesn't work, but here's something that might. It won't work for this reason, but we'll work around it and see what we can do to like at least get this story plot that you have in mind or this thing going.
Something that oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you're a necromancer, never become a lich. Seriously, don't. It's
Liches are bad for a reason. We got a thing in chat that's saying define special snowflake. To me, special snowflake is someone that's
where is this chat?
It's the voice chat text.
Yeah, voice chat text.
Special snowflake is someone that goes out of their way to make a character that seems to like it can do everything. It can do this, this, and this. Like I hate the term, but Mary Sue comes to mind. It's someone that can do everything and has no flaws. At least that's how kind of I perceive it, and that's something that I should probably also say is when you're making a character, like try and make them like 3-dimensional and make them all sorts of different like make them have like weird quirks, make them have flaws, like maybe they have insecurities. Like think about what it would take to make them feel like an actual person. Because
don't make their only flaw is that they're too beautiful. That's dumb.
Oh, I'm too beautiful. No one will ever love me. But no, it's like
I don't have that problem.
I have a character that has a stutter and he's terrified of people. I have another character that is haunted by their past. I have another person that's old as balls. Like try and think about different ways to, because everyone can make the snarky white guy Nathan Drake looking motherfucker. Like
look, listen here, man. You watch it.
You're taking offense to it. You know it's true. You know it's true.
Yeah, but I like being snarky white guy Nolan North.
Yeah, but you great.
I pull off the best snarky white guy.
You actually play it off.
Because I am a snarky white guy.
Snarky white guys are fine in moderation, and there's some people that do it like really right. But really, like
me.
Try and do stuff that like gets you out of your shell. Like do stuff that is different. Like it's RP for a reason. You don't have to.
I always felt differently about that because for me, like when I sit down, like I like my character on Final Fantasy is nothing like me. That's acting. That's work. Role playing him is difficult because he's kind of like Vegeta. Vegeta used less words, and like that's work, and that's it's not fun. I have fun with it, but I have to think, and sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like role playing. Is that like role playing on Vakir today? His name is Vakir, so I have to think. The thing with Ronzo and like most of the characters I ever roll in a game is they're me. They're my attitude. Like they're the way I act or my personality. Usually, like I always whenever I join a new game and I make my first character, with the exception of Vakir, he's the outlier here. I always just think, okay, what's easiest for me? I'm just going to take my personality and drop it into this, into this environment, into this world with this lore, and see where it brings me. Like, see what happens, see where it takes me, see what the character would become if it was me here, except probably better at everything. And it's easy because, like, role playing Ronzo is the easiest thing in the world because it's me. somebody says something, I read somebody's response, I say, like, I think in my head, huh, that's funny, and then I say the response in my head and I go, oh wait, that's what Ronzo would say because Ronzo's me, and then I just make that response.
See, and that's what I wanted to. That's honestly what I try to avoid with all my characters, is making someone that's more like me, because it makes me flex my mental muscle a bit more, especially once I dropped into Final Fantasy with Ronzo. I made a character that was old. He was old, retired, ex-military, so and so, and like it takes a lot more effort to write a character like that because you need to think, well, I'd reply like this, but how would this dude reply given all the stuff he's seen?
So like, there's two schools of thought, and like you're right, and I like to think I'm right because I usually am. It's where you draw the line at having fun. If you have fun, writing characters, flexing your mental muscles, and that, then by all means write a character. If you have fun just being yourself, but in in this area, not trying to think too hard about it, then just use your own personality. If you can, just basically role play yourself.
All right. The next question is it kind of bounces off this subject. On the flip side of this, what are some of the things that veteran role players should expect to understand from new RPers, and how can they welcome the newbies into the community?
Expect mistakes and don't lynch mob someone for making a mistake. Like, be ready for them to make mistakes with lore, make mistakes with whatever it might be. Just be ready to help them, because everyone's got to start somewhere, and you'll start in you'll meet all sorts of people, and they all have their idea on what they want to play, and some of it might just not work, but you need to be ready to help them, maybe see if you can find a solution for them. And it was kind of like, it's like what Ronzo said earlier, but yeah, just be ready to help people and be ready to clear up whatever issues they might have.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a veteran role player, then you should already be expecting it from new people. But their Broloff is absolutely right. Be patient with them. You don't want to scare them off. I mean, they're here to have fun.
Yeah, we all fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, but I've seen you guys do it countlessly. And just patience is just the absolute best thing with it. But in terms of, if you see things that are actually just all off the table right now, the one thing you need to stress to new role players, people who are coming in, new players usually get it if they've role played in other games, but new players need to know this more than anything. You have to tell them that one of the most important things in the entire hobby, the entire role playing, no matter where you're doing it, no matter if it's on a game, in a forum, and a fucking tabletop, it doesn't matter. You need to know the OOC IC line, and you need to know not to cross it, because that's a big one. That is a fucking nightmare.
I have run into many situations where people will take stuff ICly and turn it into an OOC issue, and that's not something that should happen.
See, my character's an asshole, so I see that happen constantly.
Oh yeah, that's just a given with Ronzo. But I mean, even the other day, me, Pug, and
Pug and I,
Pug, and Ronzo were
Ronzo, Pug, and I.
Whatever. We were RPing on Final Fantasy, and there was a dude that was just tearing my dude apart ICly. I couldn't match wits, and I thought it was hysterical OOC, but it could easily be construed by someone who's newer to the game that it could be a personal attack. And you need to really early on figure out where the issue is and say, okay, no, this is happening IC, this is OOC. They're two completely different trains of thought that I need to get accustomed to.
And if it comes to the point where, if let's say you might think it's a personal attack, maybe it is. Maybe it's a personal attack. Just don't respond to it. Just, be an adult. And if don't roleplay with that person if that's how they are. Or you could do what I do and just find a way to destroy them ICly with words. Because that's the best.
Yeah. That relies on you being witty enough to do it. I can do it.
I can do it. I'm great. I'm the best. It's legitimately better than sex. It's awesome when you defeat people with words.
Pug, do you have anything to add? Otherwise, I've got a question from someone in the chat.
I was going to read it. I told him he could ask it.
I think it's a different person. Yeah, it's a different person.
Never mind.
What question is it?
So I got a question from Tilly saying, how do you feel about people using accents like convict ghetto language in chat, etc., like supposed to get me drunk from blah blah blah, stuff like
Oh my
that.
god,
So like
I
people that write
applaud
in,
those people. I
you
applaud the
applaud them.
people in the.
I do too,
Oh,
because it takes a lot of linguistic acrobatics in order to be able to go like, okay, this is what it sounds like actually. Now how do I get it to work in text? And I've tried to do it. I have a character that is supposedly a pirate, but I'm not sure whether the accent is even completely legitimate in
yeah,
character.
I mean,
like
there's a.
a
Oh, sorry.
rat. Yeah. I'm speaking, please. So no, so I think it's one of the most impressive things I see roleplay wise. Just like the fact, like I've tried it because my character runs out. I'm gonna keep going back to him because he's Guild Wars, whatever. He does a lot of, like, his big thing as a thief is he does disguises and he does accents and impersonations. He's really good at it. So I always try to do accents, and like I always see people, like, I'll talk an old member of the guild named Arachne, who's a pirate, and god damn it, one of my favorite role players, one of my favorite role play characters of all time is this redheaded pirate with a mohawk named Arachne. I fucking loved her. And I would always be like, okay, I need to do it like Arachne, and I could never do it the same. I either didn't have the patience, or I just couldn't formulate how to spell the words and the accented words, and it's difficult. And I usually just say fuck it, I give up, and I just write the words out, and and I write, he says it with this accent because I'm lame, and easy way out, woohoo.
And see, but that's a legitimate idea too. Like someone brought up in chat, like you can just OOCly message them saying, "Oh, they have this accent,"
or you can just do an emote with it. Yeah, and I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's fine. That's fine because in the end, you're saving everybody time. Nobody likes a role player who takes forever to post. And if anybody here ever played Lord of the Rings Online, they remember the guy named Arian, and just how bad, like how famous he was for
His
how long
name's Arian. Good
his name was
God.
Arian. Basically, he was like the leader of the town like the town guard, and so if you were ever in prison, you had to deal with him, and he posted really slow. So my character, being a criminal, wound up having to talk to him a lot, and it was fucking worse. It was basically your sentence. It was your punishment for fucking up. But yeah, so emoting it is definitely a valid. There's no shame in it. There's absolutely no shame in it. If you could do it, I applaud you, and you're fucking impressive as anything. And I wish I could do that. But there's no shame in just emoting it instead.
Yeah, but then there's always there's a line to where it's like, all right, slow down on the apostrophe key, man. There's a difference between being French and then Cajun. I can understand a French accent. Cajun. If you hear Cajun people, you're like, oh.
I
okay.
want no. If this podcast gets out there, and anybody worth a damn hears this, somebody needs to roll Boomhauer. Somebody needs to roll Boomhauer and role play him out the way he talks. Someone needs to do that because I will suck their dick. That's amazing. I would be amazed if they did that. I would legitimately just give them control of my guild.
Oh my god. Something going back to the keeping OOC and IC separate, it was brought up in chat. The problem is when we were going back to the splitting IC and OOC, like when you're dealing with IC ridicule, if you RP as a character that lines up with yourself, kind of like Ronzo, and I think this could actually be directed as a question, how do you deal with people insulting the character ICly then? Do you take that like as a personal thing, or do you just...
No, because I'm not crazy.
Well, yeah. See, but we're not all blessed with that.
It's fine. Here's the thing. I get mad when people don't yell at Ronzo because Ronzo's like me, but he's off the chain because he doesn't. I'm allowed to be more open with him because if he gets fucked up, then I don't have to worry about it in the real world, and I'm able to make that distinction. So Ronzo is what I would be basically in our private channel. He's who I am in our private Pack 53rd Discord chat, just with absolutely no filter, no boundaries. Now, when I see my character talking like that and behaving like that in game, and when I see people put up with it, I get mad at the people putting up with it because they shouldn't put up with it. He's an asshole. Tell him to fuck off.
At least you know it.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I love seeing Ronzo get injured. He used to get injured all the time. I love it because he
We have
deserves
a forum
it.
post for it.
We
Is
do.
Ronzo
We have
injured right now? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think right now is yes.
Is it?
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
We'd have to check that.
Yeah. We have to check. We got to check the board. We got to check the survey. We'll do it later.
Check the tapes.
We're in the middle. We're recording right now. We'll do it later. Man, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's
Everyone wants to.
I am all about Ronzo being punished. He's the fucking worst. He's a good guy.
Right?
So
he's a good guy, but
basically
he's
you're
a sack of
masochist.
shit. He's a sack of shit.
So
Yeah,
basically
sure. That's basically it. Fuck it. Like, why not? I'm Jim Butcher. Jim Butcher wrote Harry Dresden. Harry Dresden's one of my favorite character in literature. But Jim Butcher hates him because he has to deal with him all the time. They're in their head together. Like, it's how it is. When you have a shithead character like that, at least for me, I want to see them burn.
All right, we got to move on to the next question. All right, this one is about the Pact fleet going down with after Mordramoth thing. So it's been some time since the Pact fleet's destruction and the death of Mordramoth, but we saw little to no response from the community.
Traherne, baby.
Yeah, Traherne, Tree Jesus.
That was my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, sometimes I still replay the level to get a few stabs at him.
Spoilers.
Do you think it's partially because
I guess we should
influenced...
say after the fact this is not spoiler free.
Oh, I didn't know people hadn't beaten it yet. Well, if they hadn't, don't listen.
Do you think
go back in time?
It's partially because we influenced Tyrian culture with our own? Would it have been reasonable to go Auschwitz on the Sylvari? Jesus Christ. No. No.
No, I noticed that too. I noticed that despite all the stuff happening, a lot of people... Because
I'm sorry.
especially...
I might need you to repeat the question in a minute.
I can give you the short answer. Basically, after like the crashing of the Pact fleet and Mordramoth dying and all that, it seemed like the RP community at large didn't really respond to it. And do you think that it's because we as a community seem to shape Tyrian culture? From my perspective, I see it as people... I don't want to say it's because they're not sure where they stand within their own individual timelines, but it's because it just doesn't affect a lot of individual plot lines that happen in within Guild RP. Like, obviously, Pact is an exception because we're a guild that's built right into the storyline of what's going on in the story of Guild Wars 2, so we kind of have to react to it. But I mean, for something like a Thieves Guild, it wouldn't really pop up unless they have a Sylvari that wants to RP as, oh, well, they're under the influence of Mordramoth or they're being tempted by it. So for the community at large, it might not be immediately relevant to the stories that they have going on. So for the sake of convenience, they choose not to acknowledge it. And that might just be me, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that do acknowledge it. Like, there's a member within our guild, Erin. She went, a couple of our Sylvari, they showed signs of struggling with Mordramoth's influence, and she outright wanted to kill all of them. I thought it was great. It started, because it split the group. It split the survival group. You know, everybody was pretty much at each other's throats. Some people were struggling with this, some people were struggling with that, some people wanted the Sylvari dead. The others were like, no, they're still our comrades, da 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 da.
Well, it made sense.
It did. It made perfect sense.
I mean, hindsight's always 20/20 on that kind of thing. Like, if they would go, I'm sorry.
And even NPCs, like there's Pact renegades, so to say, that go off and they gather Sylvari members still lost in the forest or the jungle, and they kill them. They plan to kill them, round them up, and just kill them before they turn and become more enemies.
I want to get Val in here at some point, because I mean, even like the other officers in the Pact 53rd, because there was two schools of thought in our guild when we did this. There were people, there was a character, Paul A, who kind of was affected by the whole Mordramoth thing, but wasn't. And, Ronzo was in the school of thought of, well, if he's affected, we need to quarantine him, tie him the fuck up. If we don't kill him, then just throw him in the corner where he can't hurt people. And then the other people were like, no, it's fine. He'll be okay. We need to keep him.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I'm bringing that up is because these are just experiences. It's like, what I wanted to what I just want to ask, and what I thought was so cool about this concept is anybody doesn't have to be packed. Any group, military, mercenary, whatever, who was role playing in that at that time, and in the expansion area with the whole Mordremoth thing, dealing with like that. What do you do with Solari if you have a Solari in your group? How do you deal with them? Do you quarantine them? Do you keep an eye on them? Do you give them free reign and just watch them, or do you just trust them completely? Like that's an absurdly difficult thing. That's an absurdly difficult choice, and it's hard to roleplay because in your head that if the player doesn't want it, like if the player doesn't want their character to turn, then it's fine. But your character can't possibly know that, and that's one of those OOC IC like metagame lines, and that's what I found like just so much fun about when that happened. It's just like watching people do that.
Yeah, like we didn't outright just kill our Sylvari members. We had the ones who were showing heavy signs of being affected by Mordremoth. It was causing them trouble. Like they were really weak because of it. It tired them out. We did kind of quarantine them in a way, and if they turned, like they would probably wouldn't last through the night.
Yeah, it's just like how and like as a commander, how do you make that decision? Like you want to trust them, but like if you don't, then you're being foolish for you could get your people killed by not watching them. But if you do something too cruel, then you're a dick if everything blows over and everything's okay. It's like it's an impossible situation. It's impossible.
Yeah, and for the community at large, again, as I was saying, like it basically depended on what sort of RP they were doing at the time, because it wasn't always relevant for a lot of people. I know at the time when I was still tolerant of bar RP, there'd be the occasional racist that would roll through and be willing to pick a fight, but beyond that it wasn't. I think there was like some riot event at the beginning, but beyond that was about it. And like that's fine and all, but then even after the fact, a lot of the people were just kind of like, they were tolerant of the Sylvari, and it was very rare to find someone that was outright willing to fight someone within. Like,
yeah, what I thought. I thought was cool. You know what I thought was cool is just for however long Iceli the Mordremoth thing was going on, and I saw some military groups using like Night Court or whatever. What is that? Is it called Night Court? Nightmare Court. Yeah, Nightmare Court. I always forget. I haven't played the game in like a month. But like the Nightmare Court role playing with these groups that they usually wouldn't be role playing with because
they don't want to be turned.
They don't want to be turned either, and the concept, just like from a literary standpoint, of the bad guys teaming up with the good guys to fight the badder guys is cool. It's like when Darth Vader turns good at the end of Return of the Jedi. It's like the coolest thing ever. It's like, oh shit, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And I also like the concept that the jungle's not just affecting the Sylvari. I mean, if you're going to be trapped in a jungle, there's probably things in there that you don't know about. Like Lion is a Zerker, so when they got close to the shrine of Balthazar, it really messed with him. He wasn't good at handling that very well. And then there's pocket raptors, those little bastards.
Yo,
F those things, man.
Ronzo's gonna get one to literally sit in his pocket. It's gonna happen.
Those
Smoke
things
scales as well.
Smoke scales. Ugh.
I hated all the enemies in that area because if anybody was in voice chat with me during this whole thing would know how fucking salty I got over because I played Daredevil.
When you played Guilty Gear.
You eat shit. I wasn't that mad. No, because I play a thief and I was squishy and I'm also not that good. So I was just getting shit stomped. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then Lion would be like, oh, Ronzo's dead. And I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, me being a warrior with a great sword, pocket raptors weren't really a threat to me. So anytime I was playing alongside Ronzo, we ran into pocket raptors. They'd aggro on him, and he'd go down in like 2 seconds, and I would kill them off, and I'd have to res them.
Me going down fast is nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Waka.
All right, so let's talk about revenants.
Oh god.
Let's talk about revenants.
I don't know. I'm just gonna be like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I have a revenant, and I have RP'd as a revenant, albeit not in a public setting. It's purely been with trusted groups of friends that I know would be tolerable of it, but the only thing that they gave us on the matter was that one hidden arcana lore spiel about how you would RP as one. And I mean, it was useful. Like, it basically said, like, you're not, like, they're not speaking through you. It's kind of like just an entity that they can see and interact with, that they can talk with. But they also said that they're not, like, imitations. And it's like, well, then what stops these entities from telling the person, like, oh, this is what happened to me? Like, it raised more questions than it answered, I felt. And it still seems, I haven't seen an actual proper Revenant role player in a very long time. I tried to do it, and it's a challenge because you really can't use anything that the legends would say in an RP scenario. Like, you can have maybe your characters listening to them and they might go, oh, well, this person said that. But it's like, if you're, let's just do a hypothetical. Let's say that you're a Sylvari and you're a Revenant and you can commune with Ventari. Like, what does that bring up in terms of, like, the tablet? Like, what does that do if they're Nightmare Court? What does that do, like, with all these things? Because suddenly their faith is completely out in the open and they can talk to the person that wrote their entire code and their entire guidelines for living. Like, how does that interact with the entire race as a whole? And that's never elaborated on. So, and then it's like, oh, well, let's say that there's...
Well, you got to buy gems.
Well, you got to buy gems to know more. That's just a given. But then let's say that you're... oh, God, what else would be weird? Let's say that you're a Char Revenant and you're interacting with... oh, I don't know, like Shiro. Like, what does that mean for them? They don't know anything that went on. Like, why would they care? Why would they be able to commune with them? Like, there's
All I
so
want
many...
to know is if I can, summon Logan Thackeray.
Can I commune
While
with a
he's still
Quaggan,
alive.
please?
Poopaloo.
Give me water
Poopaloo.
bugs.
Poopaloo.
But,
my boy.
like, I think that the Revenant is a cool idea for a lore standpoint, but they haven't given us enough. So RPing as one is very much like uncharted territory. Like, where do you...
Because what is role playing? I don't know. What the hell? What is that? That's the thing I like about. That's the thing I love about Final Fantasy. That's the thing I love about Final Fantasy 14 is on the server we're on, the devs on that server, they actually set up a weekly event.
14 cast, everyone.
It's just fuck you. Talking about it's just why can't it's probably like the main group of people are still playing Guild Wars at this point. Why can't they why can't they acknowledge us?
And but
we're being oppressed.
Something else about the Revenant thing is you're no longer just role playing as one character. Like, you need to role play as these legends. You need to think, okay, well, like, what would they say? How would they react in this situation? So, I mean, it requires you to be a pretty heavy lore
like the way I did it, because I, like everybody else, rolled a Revenant and I maxed out the max level, and I just had him be like a random goon until like I decided what I wanted to do. And what I did is we had a character die in the guild. Character or player killed the character off, and that character's spirit wound up becoming what he attuned to. And we just said, okay, it's going to be like whichever stance, the dwarf stance, I think.
And see, like that actually makes a lot of sense, but it's like they have access to like anything that's in the mists, pretty much. Like, they can see through it and they can commune through it and interact with it in ways that normal people can't. But it's like, what?
Why? Yeah, like why? How?
It's like why and how, and they're not answered well enough. So I definitely think that it's kind of a it's baffling. And I mean, I don't think I would ever role play as a Revenant in a public setting. I would probably keep it strictly to like
it would be
guild
pretty
or
tough,
friends.
especially I mean, if your character's a show off and like, oh look, here's your tablet right in front of your face that I've pulled through the mist. Like,
yeah, and someone in chat was like, has just said they wouldn't be heard by anyone else, and like, yeah, that's fine, and they give commentary, but then it's like, how do you know what commentary the legend would give, and how would your character react to knowing the knowledge? Like, they would clearly know things that your character wouldn't know, so
yeah,
it leads to a lot of issues, I find.
By the way, did anybody answer Queen Evane's question in the chat that she asked earlier?
There was a question earlier. Yeah, there was.
Whenever we're done with this, I'll bring it up.
For sure.
Because I have it. I have it on my screen. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So,
you have not been forgotten.
Yeah. This is the last question. Annette has used the game to comment on real life issues from Taimi's handicap to The Casimir and Marjorie's love. Do you think Ritlock the Revenant is a statement on schizophrenia? No.
Just fucking statement on blind people, maybe.
He's not blind. He
He's
just wears an
blindfolded.
Yeah, no, the Revenants they
Then
aren't
that's
blinded.
stupid.
They
That
just block
is
off their eyes.
stupid. That's dumb. That's
Well,
fucking dumb.
The thing with schizophrenia is that it's hallucinatory. Like they're seeing stuff. It's usually delusional and disorganized. I don't think that revenants are disorganized in the way that they think and speak, and that the things that they see aren't necessarily made up. The thing that a lot of what I've read is that they see the world differently because they can physically see and interact with the mists, which is normally intangible. So you can't really put the two in the same light.
They
because,
have edge vision.
Yeah, they have edge vision. So they basically, it's not that they're hearing things that aren't there or seeing things that aren't there. It's seeing and hearing things that aren't normally seen by the rest of, like, by people that don't have the gift or the study to go through with it. That's the way I see it.
I have absolutely no input on this question because I don't fucking know.
It's totally fine. It's very specific. I'll put it that way.
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
They go over a lot of sensitive subjects that I can give them, props for. Like Sylvari are pansexual. They don't really care.
Well, because they don't.
To
my knowledge,
they don't have sex really.
Contrary
They're
to
more
what the
about
RP
love.
community would have you believe.
Who?
Yeah, contrary to what the roleplay community wants, sometimes it's not always the right thing.
I mean, they just kind of get a dongle. It doesn't do anything. Like, I don't know. I still have a headcanon that they just jizz ranch dressing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You can tell me anything about them, but it's ranch dressing.
Boy, did I not. I didn't know I needed this in my life until right now.
Mine's 1,000.
Boy, do I want that.
Have fun ERPing with that knowledge. Checkmate.
For me, it's a different dressing every time. It's a surprise.
Yeah.
This is terrible. This is terrible. Fuck you for making me want this.
Oh, delicious. Oh, we need a bit of humor on this podcast.
Oh my god. But
all right.
Yeah. Liana made a pretty good pun in the chat. I'm not going to read it because I hate puns, but it was pretty good.
All right, what's
Kings
that
to you,
question
Liana.
You had?
So, Queen Evane asked, basically, I copy and pasted the wrong thing, but I remembered it. It's, do us, the collective we, think that there is any special talent or such to people who roleplay? Because we were talking about earlier, people who roleplay characters that aren't like them, that is kind of like acting characters they have to write.
Which really depends on how well they do it,
and it depends on the character, because it's like, again, like I've role played as characters that aren't my gender, that are significantly older, that have afflictions that I don't have, especially if it's like I have that one character that has a phobia of people and a stutter. Like, thinking about how to write from that perspective is weird for me because obviously I don't have any firsthand experience with it. So
yeah, and then there's times when it isn't, when it's people basically. And I'm not. I guess I probably shouldn't name the person, and I'm not going to name the person.
Don't name the person.
But I want to, and I'm thinking their name really hard.
Do not do it.
All right. So this, I'm not going to do it. But people walking around, person in particular that I'm thinking of, is role playing it basically Deadpool. Basically, just role plays as Deadpool. Like, where he's talking in the fourth person is like breaking the fourth, or talking in the third person, breaking the fourth wall, all that kind of stuff. And
I didn't know that was a thing.
And I've seen people do it like that. Obviously, you aren't like that in real life, so obviously that's a stretch. But like that's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be elitist or anything, but come on, on.
I can't.
You can put a bit of humor into emotes.
I like, like when I first started, like I broke the fourth wall in emoting. Like when I had my character run into battle, I would type an emote like Ronzo charges in, screaming at the top of his lungs, resisting the urge to shout to Basia as loud as he can. But like, I wouldn't just I wouldn't have him say anything in the real world that was actually like in the actual world. Him speak it.
Yeah.
Things that were broken.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's absurd. The only way I would ever accept it is if it was a character who knew he was being role played by somebody else, and that's only because I want to see how stupid it gets.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting experiment to say the least.
Like it really does depend on how well the person writes it. Like I think I do Lion well. I mean I'm nothing like Lion because Lion is technically a murderer.
Yeah,
So
like my first character was a female, and like I was gonna be big, strong, independent, butch female, but I mean, and then I branched out. Like I have my character on Final Fantasy 14 who's elderly. I have my character now on Guild Wars 2 who's elderly, and writing from that sort of perspective is kind of weird. Because like you can't just go, well, this is the first thing that comes to my head, so this is what I'm going to type, kind of like what you would do for Ronzo.
okay, Omega brings up. I know Omega's trying to play jokes over here by saying he plays a Food and Norn human hybrid. Let's talk about hybrids and how they're a big no.
Can't crossbreed. It doesn't work.
Stated multiple times. There's no. Can you imagine the crossbreed of an Asura and a Char?
No,
I want that.
We don't even talk about that.
I want that.
No. Yeah, chat's agreeing with us here. No. Bards
Hey, stop talking about the chat so much that people listening can't see it.
Yeah.
Scrubs.
But just some of the hybrids you would have to keep in your basement, and then like when you go down to feed them, they'd be like, "Father, why do you cry?
Why was I created? Please kill me."
Father, why you cry? Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Don't look at me.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not
a thing. And if it does happen, they need to be given the old Yeller treatment and taken out back.
No, if it does happen, just ignore it. Just act like they don't exist.
The best way to do crossbreeds I've ever seen is in Mass Effect, where like the blue alien chicks they just pick up the personality traits of that race. So like if the blue alien chicks were like saying their father was a Krogan, they'd be super aggressive, militaristic, and all that just naturally. And it's really cool.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen here.
It doesn't.
This is not the Mass Effect podcast.
It's not the Mass Effect.
This is the RPCast.
I think I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
By the way, I want to bring something up because Val mentioned something in the chat earlier. We were talking about revenants and stuff. You just said think of the ritualists because that's what it was in Guild Wars 1. Like ritualists and revenants, like mediums for seances and spiritualists, that kind of stuff. They believe and they know they have the talent, but other people are skeptical.
Yeah, that makes sense. But again, I don't know enough about Guild Wars 1 or the lore surrounding the ritualist to make the connection. And I think that's the case with probably a lot of people as well.
Faux show.
Faux show.
But one more thing.
What's our time, Matt?
We got 10 minutes.
Okay.
We got 10 minutes. We need sittable chairs, ain't that?
Sittable.
Come on.
When are we getting sittable chairs? This is some bull crap, ain't it?
I want to talk about the sittable chair problem sweeping.
I will fist fight Colin Johansson for sittable chairs.
He'll give us sittable chairs and we buy more gems.
Anymore. Didn't he leave?
We haven't reached the gym limit.
You don't have enough badges to sit in that chair, son. You don't have enough mastery points.
You haven't bought enough gems.
You have not bought enough gems.
Yeah, you
peasant.
try and sit in the chair, but then your ass breaks for no reason.
You end up with a foot over your head and your face is in the floor.
I like the way SWOTOR did it, where they didn't make sittable chairs. They just made an emote where you sat down and a chair appeared under your ass, no matter where you were. No matter where you were. No matter where you were. My boy Dallas Dickinson got you. He got you with that chair. He give you that chair right away. He got you. My boy's got you.
Freaking Ghost Man just pops out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh man, here you go, man. I see you need to sit down. Here's a little something."
Yeah, brother Odell's got you. Odell Beckham Jr. just pops out of the stands and puts a chair under you and catches a football.
God.
All right, so we got 10 minutes. We'll start. I guess we'll take a couple more questions.
Well, I got one. I have one. I have one.
All right.
And I matter more than anyone, to be honest.
I mean, that's debatable, but let's go through with it.
I'll debate you. But so out of like we talked about a lot of people like do's and don'ts, but like kind of in a character building kind of way, like don't be a vampire, don't be a special snowflake, don't do this, don't watch that OCIC line. What's something that role players do purposefully that they should stop? Because I have something in mind particularly that drives me
Something that
fucking
people
nuts.
do on purpose that they should stop.
Yeah,
I can't think. I couldn't think of anything off the top
mine
of my
is
head.
multi-boxing. I fucking hate it when people do that.
Actually,
I think that's basically god modding. To me, that's basically that's god
Multi-boxing.
modding. That's when you
For
that's
those-
when you have
for those-
more than that's multi-boxing for people who don't know is when you're playing Guild Wars or another MMO on like more than one account at once.
Oh,
I ran into that once.
I saw a guy, won't name, who was role playing his character and dual boxing like 3 or 4 different characters who were
It
his
was 4.
bodyguards.
making
Okay,
a total
you were there.
of 5.
Yeah, he was playing
Yeah.
on 5 accounts at once. And
Uh,
basically, no, I'm not done. You will hear my song.
Okay.
That like there's absolutely no difference between that role playing 5 accounts at once using like if you want to role play in 2 different places at once, maybe that's okay. Maybe like if they're 2 completely unrelated things, like maybe that's all right. But when you have 4 characters that you're role playing bodyguarding your main dude, that's god modding. That's basically just typing in /emote, my character walks down the street and has 4 fucking goons following him. Like that's what that is. The only difference is there's a physical representation. And it's fucking disgusting. I knew a guy on Lord of the Rings Online who did it. He would dual box. He had a character who led the Thief Guild, and nobody knew it because he didn't tell anybody, but he would dual box because he also had a character that was in the guard, and he was like second in command of the guard. So whenever the guard character knew something like a bust was going to happen, or someone was going to get arrested, or somebody was a snitch, his thief character knew it automatically. Just automatically knew it, and that's fucking disgusting.
Oh, that's bullcrap. Yeah. Something that came to mind, and I was reminded of it. Describing what your character is thinking in emotes. Like they'll be doing something, and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, this person thinks of this," and it's like, I think that's poor form. I think that you can insinuate through emotes that your character is thinking about something, but you shouldn't make it blatantly obvious to the reader because they can't use that information anyway. Like they won't know that you're thinking about, like, let's say that you don't like them and they're keeping up a false smile, and then they emote, well, he totally wasn't thinking about punching him in the gut right now, and it's like, if it's not something that they can use ICly, don't show it. Maybe insinuate that they're thinking about something or that they're going to do something, but there's no reason for you to emote that they're thinking about something in specific.
Yeah, I guess.
I
I
haven't
thought about that.
I think we need to bring up the Curse of Jormag.
No, we've brought up the Curse of Jormag enough.
I don't know. I think you can always blow a little bit more dust off the Curse of Jormag.
Well, I mean, the people who are listening or going to be listening, they're probably not going to know what the Curse of Jormag is.
We already touched on it earlier. Let's not.
We touched on it. It touched me.
Good God.
But to put it.
Oh, you know what else I think is something? Fuck you, because I'm going to talk. What I think is another thing that I can't stand. And I do it all the time because I know people can't stand it. So I'm a complete hypocrite, but that's nothing shocking. Anybody knows me knows I'm full of shit all the time.
You're just
So when people, my favorite is when people are like, you're in an insult fight with somebody, and like the other player walks away and gets just out of emote range to where you can't emote back without being called a metagamer because your character wouldn't be able to hear that far, but you're still in say/emote range, and the character goes, "Oh, that fucking cunt!" Like that
and
is.
And then you just hear the tire screech.
As they turn around and then walk all the way back to get a reward.
It's an entirely different thing when people hear it, because that's just bad form. That's basically god modding. But when people do that, where they walk away and they say that thing, just so that not even the character knows, so the player knows, that's amazingly dickish. That's fuckery on a whole level that I can't even talk about. It's
Because you do
absurd.
it all the time.
Hey, I'm great at it. I'm amazing. But boy, nobody should do it, including me. Nobody should do that. Everyone who does that's an
Put
asshole. I'm
yourself
an
in the
asshole.
hole.
I will.
Go sit in the corner, Ronzo. You're grounded.
I'll dig my own hole, and everyone can jump in with me.
All right.
Oh, we got about.
We were
4
talking
minutes.
about the Curse of Jormag, but I did want to point out I had a particularly good because I've been thinking about the question I asked in like the multi-boxing thing, and I have a pretty alright solution for it. Is if you find that person, like whoever, because I've seen multiple people do it, role playing like that one character with his 4 bodyguards who he's also playing. It's just gather up all your goons, gather up your friends, get like 20 people, and all emote at all, like attack him in the streets and emote at them so fast that he can't possibly type emotes on 5 different keyboards fast enough to keep up, and then he will stop.
You're a goddamn genius, Ronzo.
He will stop. You will break his spirit.
Here's a medal.
So what? You're saying we should just jump men in the street?
We should
killing
attack people over
this the
this
Purge?
OOC thing.
Is this
Call
the
in your
Purge?
goons. This is more than the Purge. We have to make Guild Wars 2 great again, and that's the first step.
How did I know
Stop.
this is going to happen?
Stop.
That is that's. I was thinking about it all day, and I was at work, and I was just laughing so hard. It was just like, imagine doing that to somebody who does that. I would like if people like if that was the way you called people out, because you could easily justify it. You could say, "Oh, this guy has 5 bodyguards. He's probably got a lot of money. So let me make my thief character and get all of his thief friends, and we're going to jump him in the street because me and my 20 goons can fight that guy and his 4 goons. We have more goons. We have the mathematical goon advantage." And you just bombard them with so many emotes that he cannot respond. If he has to respond on 5 keyboards to 20 different people, he will quit. He'll just take his computers and throw them in the trash. That is my theory.
You're a genius, Ronzo.
God.
Take my keys, go home and sleep with my wife.
I will.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Fuck.
I'm going back to RuneScape where I can
God.
buy
there's one other one, and this kind of counts. And I'm not, again, I won't do names because I've seen people do it. Some people I know I enjoy a lot that do this. It's something similar, but it's on one account where basically let's say you have 6 or so characters on Guild Wars.
Yeah.
And one person knows something, so all those characters know something, like they share like a fucking comic.
Yeah, it's not a hive mind.
I hate that. I hate that because it has purposefully that, and this is it has cock-blocked my character, and that upsets me. When it's fair game, that's fine. It's fine. But when it is bullshit, the salt is real.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, my characters are the Borg. Yeah, it's not a hive mind, buddy. Oh.
My only regret about it is that I did not systematically just give them all lies and break them.
Oh.
I think that's all we got for today, boys. That's the only time we have.
We don't have any more questions?
I don't think we got any more questions.
I think we gotta have more questions. There's a specific room in there, and we'll answer them. I'll have new people answer them next week.
I'm coming back. This is my
podcast, but not next episode.
I'm the next host, man. I'm the host.
No, you're
now.
not.
No, you're
yes,
not.
I am. Who gave you a job?
Dude, you got your YouTube channel to worry about.
Well,
we're all fired after today. Let's be real. They're just going to replace us. We've been outsourced.
Yeah. Next time you come back, hello and welcome to RPCast.
Oh, no, we're not going down that path, good sir. We're not going down that path.
We're gonna outsource RPCast to China.
China.
Okay.
China.
I think we've officially reached the end of the podcast for the day.
All right.
Thank
you all for coming out. We love and answering your
I
questions.
know everyone's gonna want to talk to me. Everyone loves me now. I've swayed them with
haters to the left,
my words.
please.
We'll be in the general room signing autographs at the end.
Yeah. I'll sign as many tits as it takes.
Stop dual boxing. Stop it.
Oh,
Stop
and-
multi-boxing, kids.
Audacity
no.
crashed.
How much did he get?
Oh. Watch, he was just bamboozling us.
This better not be an April Fool's joke. You
Oh, he's...
Oh. I knew he was joking. I
We
knew
just
he was
got
joking, and I knew he was joking. Y'all can't prove otherwise.
The
we just
first
got April
episode
Fools.
would be on April Fools. Anyway, we're done here. We're gonna go do some shit, I guess. I don't know
Yep.
what we really do after this.
Credits, oh yeah.
This episode was sponsored by Liana and Omega of the Guild Wars 2 roleplay
In
Discord
my
server.
upcoming YouTube channel, selfless plug.
Oh my god.
We don't care about your YouTube
And
channel.
this was also sponsored by Ronzo's Musk, the new cologne coming out.
It
it's
smells
not
like
his sweat.
loneliness and
I
tears.
promise it's not my bottled sweat. I promise.
It smells
It's
like
not.
tears and sadness.
With a hint of whiskey.
He doesn't drink.
Yeah, well, that's how much I
No,
did
he
drink,
made-
and I'm still sweating it out.
Anyway,
All right.
thank you all for coming out. Bye-bye.
See you.
That was the most awkward goodbye I've ever heard.